Andre Wade was just released once again. Come to reminisce about some things, some great old things. Uh, Yesterday, I told y'all about my experience, my fight experience in the county jail. Once again, I got a story for the county jail. Uh, I told you I was a real bad actor. And when I was in the county, I was so respected. I was respected by the laws. I was respected by the inmates. Because like I say, I was a real bad actor. And I remember a time when I was living on this tank, and when they feed you, they used to feed you on a cart. And the last tray that come inside the tank always was mine. It was always fixed up. They would fix my tray up because, like I say, I ran the tank. And when something go on, you know, basically everybody would come to me, you know. And I remember a time when I was I was sitting in the day room and I was eating. I was sitting at the table eating. I remember I was eating some pudding. So a partner of mine, uh, he was a big guy. They called him Big Bubba, and Big Bubba was a character. Big Bubba didn't like my partner Jesse. Jesse had a real mouth, real mouth. He was real. He was fly with his mouth. He was real fly. So Big Bubba was getting a haircut in the day room, and while I was in there eating. So, and the dude that was cutting his hair was messing his hair up, was putting plugs in his head. So Jesse came into the day room, and when Jesse came in the day room and seen Big Bubba head, he just bust out, bah! You know, he had a laugh on him. He had one of them laughs. He had a laugh, and it was real loud. But Jesse was a little cocky dude. Big Bubba was a big guy. And so everybody thought Big Bubba, you know, was a hell of a fighter. So Big Bubba say, man, I'm gonna whoop that nigga ass. I'm gonna whoop that nigga. I'm gonna whoop you. I'm gonna whoop you. So Jesse wasn't paying no attention. So the law was sitting at the bars of the tank talking to us. One of the laws that used to fix me up and everything. So when Jesse went back into the Bay Area where we live, Jesse told me, he said, say Dre, he said, man, I'm gonna whoop that Jesse. I'm gonna whoop it, man. I'm telling you, when I get through my hair, I'm going there, I'm gonna whoop him. So I say, go ahead, you can whoop him. So when they went in, I didn't go in there. Big Bubba went in there. All of a sudden I heard them arguing. All of a sudden I heard a then I heard a Big Bubba stole Jesse. Jesse body slammed Big Bubba. And when he body slammed Big Bubba, this is what I seen. When I went inside the Bay Area and where they was fighting at, I went in there and what I seen was the damnedest sight I ever seen. Jesse was on top of Big Bubba and he had Big Bubba nuts from behind. And he was pulling Big Bubba nuts. And Big Bubba was hollering, trying to get him off of him, and he couldn't get Jesse. Jesse had him by his neck and had him by his nuts on top of his back, pulling him. And he told Big Bubba was hollering, trying to get him off of him. He say, surprise, you see what come out of a Cracker Jack box. Surprise, and he surprised Big Bubba. When I walked in there and I was sitting there and I was eating that pudding and I'm looking, and Big Bubba looked up at me, he said, Dre, get him up off of me, Dre. Get him up off of me, Dre. I said, nigga, you Big Bubba. You get him off of you. And man, when I tell you, he could not get this man off of him. And Big Jesse went to punching him. He punching him. And he holding his nuts, pulling his nuts. And Big Bubba was hollering. I mean, they went all the way. Now, Big Bubba told the officer that he was gonna whoop Jesse. The officer told him, go ahead. You know, the officer used to let us fight. And when they made it all the way out of the Bay Area, back into the day room area, Big Bubba was howling so loud because that man did not let his nuts go. And when that officer came around that corner to see what was going on, Big Bubba was holding on to the bars. Jesse was biting him and pulling his nuts. I mean, he was hollering. He was hollering. Man, they came in there and took Big Bubba out of there. Took Big Bubba to the infirmary. So we all talking about the situation and everything. Next thing I know, they brought Big Bubba onto the tank. And then when they brought Big Bubba had bandages on him. They came and there was two officers with him. They was moving him off the tank. Man, Big Bubba looked at me. He said, Dre Dog. He said, man, you could have got that man off of me, man. And he was walking like this here. He was walking like this here because his old nuts was swollen. His nuts was swollen and he looked like he had been scarred up and on the concrete. And man, I say, Big Bubba, I say, man, you could have got that, man, you weren't the one to fight him. I say, man, you see what surprises do? Once again, this was a smaller guy which beat up a big guy. Now I was telling you, you can't underestimate these little dudes in these jail houses and these penitentiaries because they'll surprise you. You never know what might take place when you fighting somebody. And really, by right, the word of mouth. Jesse with the mouth, Big Bubba with the attitude. But when we go in these jails and these penitentiaries, our mouths sometimes get us in trouble because you never know what a person is going through. You never know what a person is about until action take place. Big Bubba didn't have to do that. Big Bubba could have overlooked that because the dude was messing up his head. Yeah, Jesse was laughing, but also everybody was laughing. I was laughing, and some more people was laughing because his head was getting messed up. But he didn't have to take it to that level. But he was so wanting to beat this boy up because some big dudes, they always want to be bullies and think they can whoop everybody. You can't whoop everybody in the jailhouse. It's going to be always somebody that can whoop you. Yeah, I was Dre Dog, but it was some things I didn't do. But if I fought to win. I didn't fight to lose. Everything would go with me because I was Dre Dog. And there was some things you wasn't gonna do. You weren't gonna do something to this person or you weren't gonna do something to that person because I wasn't gonna have it. I was just me. I would always, because I didn't like bullies. I really didn't like bullies. And I would fight a bully anytime in them days. Yeah, I'm on the cane now, but guess what? Dre Dog will still fight if it came to me. I ain't looking for now and I won't run for now. And that's how I always been in my life. But I pray peace is upon you all and y'all families that's doing well and y'all loved ones that's incarcerated is at peace. And you know what? This is Andre Wade with Just Release, and I'll be back with you.